Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Not Too Comic Book. This being a show where 12 TV shows that are adaptations of comic books. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about Lookism, episode 7. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. Well, first and foremost, Deok Hua brings Hyung Seok over to his place, and he's like, oh man, he doesn't know what it's like to be in like such a shabby place. But then he starts being like, hey, you don't need to like leave the lights on all the time. That raises your electricity bill. You can stack up these newspapers and kind of use them as kind of humidifiers, because he knows what it's like to cut corners. Because it's like, hey, my mom, like we weren't the richest family. We struggled to get by. So he knows little things, because he's like, oh yeah, like wrapping food up in newspapers, especially potatoes, they don't sprout that way. So, you know, and in that moment, because Seok is like, oh, you must be really rich or stuff like that. It's like, no, the only reason why he wore those clothes is because Jae Yeol gave them to him. But do notice, like, since then he hasn't really worn those fancier clothes. I think for him it's like, no, I'm more comfortable in like regular clothes. Like they're too like, it's probably a situation of like, right, I don't want to get them dirty or having to wash them, so like I'm gonna wear them very sporadically. He hasn't really brought that up, but if you notice, like, he hasn't worn any of the clothes Jae Yeol got him except for his birthday, you know, because it was a special occasion. So I think those clothes are just gonna be special occasion clothes. I mean, to be fair, like, he's probably more comfortable wearing his school uniform, so he doesn't stand out even more, because he doesn't like standing out, you know, despite like, oh, I'm getting all this praise and stuff, which he enjoys to an extent, but even then it's still like, yeah, I'm still me on the inside. I'm still the person that feels like, because he also, you know, recognizes, hey, if I'm looking like this, they only like me because of the way I look. If it was me here, they wouldn't be giving me the same treatment. It's only because he's in his big body and not his original body, you know? But either way, they start practicing the song, and obviously Deok Hua isn't just a rapper. He's also like puts together the arrangement of the song and stuff like that. He's like, whoa, you make music too? He's like, yeah, it's kind of no big deal, but it's like, it's the biggest deal. It's like, dude, not only are you a rapper, you're also essentially you're a producer right now. It's like being a double and triple threat. Like, no, you're not only a rapper, you're a lyricist and a producer. It's like, dude, you're the triple threat. It's like, that's amazing. But no one would ever give him the shot because of who he is, the way he looks. So, but they're practicing the song and stuff like that. And obviously they went to stop by his grandmother's place, and he thought like, oh, like just like Hobin and the others, he's just gonna like take advantage of my grandmother asking him like, oh, do you want something to eat? But Hyung Seok was like, no, like, but Deok Hua knows, like, no, I know you're actually hungry. I just hurt your stomach, but you're turning down my mom's. Like, it's not, she would even offer to you for free, but you're like, no, he doesn't feel right, because when I'm sure when he sees Deok Hua's grandmother, he sees his own mom, you know, so he turns it down. And yes, he's putting a strain on his voice, like practicing so much, but he has the benefit of like, right, I have two bodies to practice with. While one's resting, I could be practicing with the other one. And obviously he got help from what's her name? Is it, I see the name in the credits, is it Chu Seong? That might be it. He got the lady that he's run into from time to time, she gives him cough drops this time to help. So it's like, yeah, he's been practicing, and little by little he's been getting better and better. And, you know, Jiho is just like, oh my god, you guys, this is amazing. Like, you guys are so awesome. And because Deok Hua, and I love that he's comfortable enough to be like, yeah, but you could practice, like, we have 2 weeks, you could keep practicing and practicing, but it won't be enough. Luckily, he has two bodies to practice with, so he's practicing not only, you know, he's practicing multiple hours a day. He has that benefit, because even if they let one vocal cord rest while he works on the other, you know, it's a beautiful benefit, and he's getting better and better with leaps and bounds. Sadly, one point he was walking away, Jiho and his boys, like, came after Deok Hua and just started bullying him, and they were telling Jiho like, hey, beat him up too. And when the time came, Jiho like didn't do it, but he was still in that position because he was scared. Like, once again, you're getting one bullied kid to bully another, and he was already in this situation too. And he beats himself up. He apologizes to Deok Hua, like, I'm sorry, I'm a trash person, because he ended up going with Deok Hua to see Hyung Seok, but in his original body at the convenience store, being like, hey, I'm sorry about before. And it's like, hey, I've been bullied. It's like, oh, me too. And it's like, yeah, they basically cover war stories about like what each one of them's been through when it came to being bullied. And ultimately, you know, sadly, it's not something to be proud of, but Hyung Siak ended up kind of coming out on top with just what he's been through. It's like, oh, that's a bit much, isn't it? It's like, yeah, even for their standards, they're like, wow, we get it rough, but that's next level, dude. So there's that. But they bond together over the fact is like Hyung Seok, it's like he's been this glimmer of hope for us. Like he's the reason why Jin Seong doesn't bully me anymore. Even he's had to change of heart. And Deok Hwa's like, hey, I thought he was using me, but now it's like, no, like when he says we're alike, we may come from different worlds, but I do feel it. I feel the sincerity in his song and his voice. And obviously Vasco like walks by and hears all this, and he's like, oh, wait. So that guy, he's not the bully I thought he was. What about you? He took your mom's money. It's like, no. My mom offered that to him because of the coffee. He's like, oh, maybe I got him wrong. Hey, convenience store kid, anytime you want to train, like hit me up. I was like, okay. I remember where that ended up going. So, but I think for him, it's hearing from them like, hey, I've been this friend to them. It's like, right. I think for him, it's the first time. It's the first time he's had not just one but two friends, and also he also has three because he has Jae-yeol as well. But it's like, right, two friends that have been in this. We've been in the trenches where we've been through the same war essentially. And for him, I think hearing their sincerity of them being like, yeah, it's thanks to him. Like it's a situation where he's never, I think, meant a lot to another person, like other than his mom. To hear other people be grateful for him, it really, because that's also like he's felt that double edge of like, right. How can I really compare to Deok Hwak's situation? Because like, right, I have an escapism. I was able to escape, because he even said like, yeah, he used to hum all the time to escape his reality, but he does it even more so now because he has another body to jump into, one that's pretty, and he never has to worry about being bullied. I mean, granted, he still has his issues because other people pick fights with him because he's so pretty and stuff like that. So they can't stand him. But I think for him, it's like the first time where he feels like, right, people like me and they rely on me. They need me. That I'm actually helped them in some shape or form. I think that feels good to be of help to someone instead of just being, it's like, right, these are people who, with your new body, it's not just a new start for you. You're helping so many other people by doing it because he's able to change so many people's heart, like just like he did Jin Seong. And so I thought that was kind of beautiful. And obviously when Diakwa, like, obviously change up the rap lyrics, but his, trying to make him better and better. And then Hyung Seok sings the part, and you're just like, oh, that's so beautiful when you hear it all kind of flowing together. You're like, oh my God, that's so good. Once again, it's just one of those things where you're just like, ooh, just feeling it in your heart, feeling it in your soul. So it seems like things are kind of going good on that front, while you have Ho-bin and his buddy planning to, like, it's like, hey, we're the second to last. I want Hyung Seok and Deok Hwa to go last, because if they go last, like they think they're going to sway people with Hyung Seok's like looks, but it's like we're going to have the best performance, we're going to crush him, but also to celebrate it, we're also going to like give them a little hazing beforehand, so they're being targeted. If I remember correctly, and I could be mistaken, I do think there was. Things don't go the way Hyung Seok wants them to with the performance. I think he has to go, without spoiling it, because I think I remember he has to do it with his other body, if I remember correctly. I think he kind of gets knocked out in his new body, has to do it in his original body. I can't remember now off the top of my head. I feel like I remember that being the story beat, but I could be misremembering that. Once again, he has been practicing with both bodies, so it wouldn't hurt to be able to do that, but we'll see whether or not that's right, because I think the next episode is not only the season finale, it is going to be the festival concert too, so we'll see what Ho-bin and the others have ready for him, because they're kind of like, hey, we're getting like a record deal, like we're doing this song, and also it's going to be our debut song, and yada yada yada. They're feeling like hot shit essentially, so it's definitely going to be interesting to ultimately see where all of this ends up taking us going forward into the next episode. But really, that's all I'm going to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day, and goodbye.